Welcome to Falmouth, a destination for holidaymakers around the UK. Most come here for fish and chips and beautiful beaches. However, some come here without seeing one of Falmouth's greatest treasures. Its kelp forests. Kelp forests are one of the most important habitats in the seas around the UK. Most people think kelp is a plant, but it's not. It's an incredible algae that lives and grows in cold waters along the shoreline. You can spot it easily from its long, flat, yellowy-brown blades that give it the coastline its golden reefs. But kelp isn't just beautiful to look at. It's essential to the coastline's survival, protecting it from coastal erosion during heavy storms and strong surges. But how does it do this? To find out, we have to look at the three main parts of the algae. Starting at the bottom is the holdfast. Strong and sturdy, this holds the kelp to the rocky reef like roots of a tree, allowing it to withstand the strongest of currents. It's made up of smaller pieces of kelp stretching around rocky edges and boulders. Travelling up from the holdfast is the stipe, a long tube much like the stem of a flower. However, it is flexible to allow the plant to bend under the water at low tide. At the top of the algae is the blades of the kelp. This is where the plant gets its energy, photosynthesizing sunlight from chloroplasts in the blade. It can also absorb nutrients in the water, essential for a healthy growth. However, more importantly, the golden blades provide shelter for a number of marine lives. These are bryozoan. They are small invertebrates that can live as singular zooids to a colony of thousands along the blades of the kelp. These tiny creatures use the kelp blades to get closer to their food drifting in the water, known as plankton. Plankton are microscopic organisms that drift with the currents all over the world. But it isn't just the small creatures that live on the kelp. Spider crabs. One of the UK's largest crab even uses the blades for shelter. They cling to the blades with strong legs and use other seaweeds as camouflage on its back to blend in. Even if marine life doesn't live on the kelp, it still relies on it for protection. Cat sharks rely on the kelp forest to protect its leathery eggs, tied down to seaweeds on the ocean floor. Colourful sea slugs, known as Nudibranchs, need the protection of kelp from strong currents. Some spend their time around the holdfast, like this rainbow sea slug. But you might even find a nudibranch feeding off the bryozoan that grows on the kelp, like this polycera. For these little creatures, the kelp acts as both protection and food source. But our kelp forests are under daily threats that can affect the population. Rising global sea temperatures are pushing kelp forests further north, and pollution from agricultural practices and surface runoff can affect the kelp's ability to survive, causing numbers to decrease as time passes. This is affecting all marine life that lives here, which is why it's important we protect this beautiful and vibrant marine habitat. So next time you visit Falmouth, or another coastal town in your country, go for a swim, a snorkel, or even a dive, and learn what incredible marine species live within your kelp forests. For the survival of our beautiful coastlines, the marine life that lives here, and for the protection of the amazing algae, kelp.